So pet peeve stats wise, we log into our MLS system and, we have a bit of a dashboard that shows us how many new listings, how many conditional sales, how many pending, how many closed. It also shows how many canceled. So today, right now, as of a few minutes ago, I just looked, all of Halton and all of Hamilton region combined, we had a little over 228, I believe it was, new listings.
Yep.
We also had close to 300 canceled and expired combined. How many of those canceled listings are actually now also appearing regurgitated new listings?
Well, I mean, based on what I see, because I look at it daily as opposed to weekly, and especially today is a Thursday, we're doing our recording. Thursday is the busiest day of the week.
Right.
You have a lot of cancels that happen today in relists. I'm willing to bet 75% at least of those listings are
the
canceled and relisting.
Yeah.
So it's a pet peeve, absolutely, because it skews the numbers, but you might want to explain to people why it's a pet peeve or what the reason is behind it.
Yeah, it skews our stats. So it skews your days on market.
Which is the pet peeve of mine.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it's a pet peeve, but how does it affect consumers? And really where that effect comes from is when we go back and talk about media. The media only looks at stuff on the surface.
Right.
They don't know that of those 228 new listings, 75% of them were already on the market. They don't know that because they don't have access to the data that we have. So how it affects consumers is they see these big, big numbers and they don't realize that they're not all real.
No, in a broad statement, you have to dig into it.
Absolutely.
There's way more below the surface than just the statement the media is going to share with you.
So I guess it comes back then to that, a price adjustment versus a cancel and relist. What does that do? So when you do a price adjustment, the listing stays live, it just drops in price and they show it as a price decrease.
Right.
Whereas if they do a cancel and relist, it pops up at the top of the board as a new listing again. The jury's out whether or not there's any positive effect that comes out of that. Personally, I'm not a big believer of doing it because as realtors, we see all the history anyways.
I don't think it makes any difference in terms of the outcome, the result to the seller as to what number they get. I don't think it makes any difference. I think it just skews the stats, and when the media only takes that high level, doesn't dig deeper, they're not telling the whole story.
Now, one thing I will say is the way that we run our stats and pull those data, we don't take that latest days on the market stat to show people. That's why our numbers are probably different from what everybody else is seeing.
Likely,
because we're showing continuous days on the market, which will be substantially greater. It will account for all those cancel and relists along the way. So rather than showing sold 3 days on the market, it's going to show the 122 it's been out there on multiple listings.
Yeah, I showed a house last week. My client, because Realtor.ca was showing one number, thought it had only been on about a month.
Yeah.
Look back in the history, it's been on over 365 days.
Yeah.
Over a year.
Yeah. So think about how that changes your buyer's perception now.
Yeah.
They're thinking it's a new house, it's a great price and everything else. We got to react quickly because this house is going to sell.
No.
Meanwhile, it's had 4 price reductions. It's been on the market for a year and they haven't been able to unload it and they still want to sell. So think about your position now in going in to make an offer on that home.
Yeah,
it's going to change dramatically, isn't it?
He couldn't believe it when I told him it had been on over a year.
Yeah. Changes your sense of urgency, definitely.
Oh yeah, and the number you might offer.
Absolutely.